We're comatose. More so you. But
Welcome.
are you even in the frame?
Welcome to episode 21 of
22.
Welcome to episode 22
of F that.
Photo Chat.
That's the best intro today.
Welcome to episode 22 of If That
Photo Chat.
We are
use this as your
yes.
Slab of meat.
We are in our burqa loungers, enjoying the rays of my pot lights. They're little pot lights. They're not lights for pots.
Damn.
Okay, this is like so uncomfortable.
Sit up then.
Yeah, I gotta try and get my pillows
Do you
back.
need help?
Okay.
We'll get new chairs. These are temporary.
Yes, these are temporary. Thank God.
I thought they'd be nice until we sat down in them.
Whose bright idea was this?
Mine.
Hi, Doyle.
Doyle didn't give us the idea for the chairs. Doyle gave us the idea to talk to each other. And I had an existential crisis, and I was like having a bad night and chatting with him, and he had mentioned like criticism about the podcast, or
Constructive
criticism.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the fucking camera.
Well, we can look at the camera once in a while.
Part of the constructive criticism was to like actually have a conversation, because the way we were sitting down before felt like a bad show.
Like a TV show.
Yeah, like a bad news station.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't say bad, I'm saying bad.
Okay.
And I was like, we should make it comfier. And then I watched one of my favorite podcasts. I think I showed you them the other day, Ladies and Tangents.
Yes.
And the episode I listened to, fucking mint. It was great. But it helped a lot. And I was like, as I was listening to them, I was like, we should get something more comfy so it actually feels like a conversation.
Yeah.
And these were the chairs I landed, and they looked great in the picture until I saw Chuck sit down in it. He went all the way back, and I was like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of talking to each other. I'm okay because I sit cross-legged on a regular basis, but I think you'd need some WD-40 for your knees if you sat like cross-legged.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'd make it out of here.
So next episode, you might see some different chairs.
Yes. Hopefully, yeah. And we don't necessarily have to have matching chairs, too.
No, they can be completely different.
Yeah.
So I can keep this chair.
Yeah.
You can have like an old man chair. You can get it. We should get anti-gravity chairs.
No, these are anti-gravity chairs.
No, like even more anti. You know the ones that you can almost lay flat in.
Yeah, Sue bought one of those.
We should get an inversion table. Upside down. Welcome to F That Photo Chat.
I know you say don't look at the camera, but this is what I have to fucking put up with.
I'm so uncomfortable. I never make eye contact with people when I talk. I'm so uncomfortable. My eyes feel violated. Sorry, no offense. I'm just gonna talk like this with my eyes closed. That's even weirder.
Okay, yeah. Now you look stoned.
This is a topic coming up a lot today.
Yeah. Okay, so what were we talking about? We were going to talk about announcements from Canon.
Yeah, Canon mirrorless stuff.
Yeah, so they've announced that they're announcing a release. No,
it's like the Ontario.
They're developing. It's an R3.
Yeah.
The Canon R3, which is it's interesting because they haven't had a 3 series camera in a long time, since film days, I think.
Like one with 3 in it?
Yeah, like the
T3i.
Well, no, like. But yeah, they haven't had a 3. Like they had the.
Yeah, they skipped over the 3. They haven't had a 2 though, or a.
No, but they have the 1DX, right? And then there's a 5D. There's a 6D. There was a 7D. Right,
3D.
But they haven't had a 3 series camera since the film days. And some of the things we're talking about with this camera is global shutter.
Yep.
Stacked sensor.
That's really, really nice.
And the one thing I find stupid, it's interesting, like they had it back in film days, is the eye detect
Oh, I think we were talking about that before.
Yeah. So basically, you look at a focus point, and it'll pick that focus point.
That's really cool. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, but if you're, let's say you want your focus point in the middle, and you're checking around to see what's in the frame, right?
Oh, it's gonna move everything.
And like it was okay when it was like 5 focus points.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got like 5,000 focus points. I don't know how many focus points are in this camera, but like we'll say 100 focus points. And if you just look off in a certain direction, you lose your focus.
That's frustrating. I'm
right?
sure you
so
can.
I don't know.
I wonder if there's like it would be cool if there was like a lock button for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you look here, and then you like hit, like an enter, or like an OK or confirm or something. Just like some button to lock it in so that you can continue to look around. You push it again to unlock it. That would be beneficial. I think.
Well, for me, I just rather use the joystick on the back. And
Yeah. I think last time we briefly talked about the global shutter. We mentioned, or not global. Last time we talked about the R3, we briefly mentioned the global shutter.
Yeah.
And we kind of skimmed over it.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So do you know what a global shutter is?
Kinda.
So basically, with a regular shutter, when you take a photo, it scans from like top to bottom.
Yeah.
With a global shutter, it just scans the whole thing at once. So you can achieve faster shutter speeds with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good for like studio shooting, because with studio shooting, like if you're using flashes, you could only use like a maximum shutter speed of like 200 or 2/50th of a second.
Oh yeah.
Because it'll cut off half the photo. With a global shutter, it'll be...
Is this the first global shutter in a Canon?
I think it's the first global shutter
ever.
Oh, shit, I don't know who has.
Be an annoying sound. Sorry.
I don't know if anybody else has a global shutter yet.
I haven't heard of it, and that would be nice. Even for studio stuff, that would be really nice. Because I was like, oh, global shutter, probably. Like when I first heard about it, I honestly didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's probably just good for people who do like sports and stuff. And the fact that it benefits kind of everyone, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah. So picture, those shots of like dropping stuff in water. Mm-hmm. Right? And you want to freeze the shot.
Oh my god.
And 2/50th of a second kind of works, but...
Yeah, in school, in my second year, we had... Or no, it was the end of first year. We had a splash photography project where we had to do 5 different photos for the final project. They all had to be different.
Okay.
Mine was atrocious. I will never show them to anybody.
Okay.
Who hasn't seen them already. It's very embarrassing. But that would have made everything a lot easier.
Yeah.
I had a theme for mine. I'm not going to talk about it, but here we go. I had a theme for my splash photography project, and I had this grand idea to do an Alice in Wonderland theme.
Okay.
And if I executed it properly, it would have been dope. I did get some cool shots, but I could probably go back and edit them to look better. The lighting was still my first year, so I was still first of all, not taking anything seriously.
Yeah.
So one of the photos I had was sugar and tea for the tea time. The last shot I had, I got my friend who's blonde dress in this was the coolest idea I think I've ever had in anything I've done photography related, but I just wish I could go back and do it again.
Okay.
I probably could.
Yeah.
And I had her stand in a white dress. And I had this idea since the beginning of the year. And I didn't execute it properly. And the idea was painting the roses red. You've seen Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
You know the Queen of Hearts, she paints the roses red at the end.
Okay.
So I was painting the roses red. So I had her stand in a white dress on a set with a paintbrush over white roses. And I poured red paint on her. And it was super cool. You're like, what the hell? I'm so into this. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it would have... So I had paint dripping from her paintbrush at the same time as she was painting it. And then she was getting painted red. So she was supposed to be Alice and all this stuff. Anyways, I thought it was really cool. But I'll never show that photo to anyone.
Okay.
Why was I? Oh, splash photography and global shutter.
So did you pour paint directly over top of her?
So we watered it down and we made sure that the paint was safe.
Okay.
First, because someone else in our class didn't check. There's so many stories from school that I just don't talk about because I just forget about them.
Okay.
So someone else in the class had not purchased skin safe paint.
Yeah.
And they poured it on a model. And the model had to go to the hospital. And our teachers were hard ass, and one of the teachers was like, "You're not getting an extension to redo this." And he's like, "My model went to the hospital," and the teacher was like, "That's your fault." I believe that's what happened. If anybody's watching, they're like, "That's not how it happened." I wasn't involved in that friend group at the time, so I only heard about it. But I got people safe paint, and I had watered it down. So I had one of my assistants holding a reflector or whatever, and then another assistant on a ladder pouring the paint. And I didn't know how much to start. It was so we had the whole set covered, the whole studio covered in tarp.
Okay.
And garbage bags and everything, because that would be a fucking nightmare to have watered down red paint on everything.
Fuck. Okay.
It was an electrical nightmare.
Yeah.
And we watered it down, so when she was pouring it, she's like, "What kind of, how do you want me to pour it?" And I was like, "I don't know." So my first couple shots are little trickles. The model's just standing there getting red pee on her, basically. And then I was like, "Okay, just do it all." And she did it all, and I got a shot, and I really wish I could go back and do this, because if the lighting and everything was good and I was a better photographer, this would have been a dope shot.
Yeah.
But it did come out sharp. I got a shot of it coming out of the bucket and in momentum right before it hit her head.
Oh, wow.
And it's this far away from her head.
Nice.
And then I got another one where it's starting where it hit her, but before she flinched, because most people will flinch when something hits them.
Yeah.
So she's standing perfectly serene, completely straight face, painting the roses, and it's hit her. And I'm like, it's so cool. Man. Maybe I'll show you. I won't show the general public.
Okay. Cool.
So I wish I could have had global shutter then.
Yeah,
I wish
no
I was
kidding.
a better photographer then too.
We'll do it again.
With you?
No, because I'm not a blonde girl. Oh,
we can get you in a blonde wig.
You're a blonde girl.
No. Actually, that'd be fun. Let's do it.
Okay, so what else was there?
We were ranting about global shutter.
Yeah, and the Canon R3. It's got a built-in grip.
Yeah, so essentially with the release of this, they kind of did what they did with the Z9.
Yeah.
Feels weird not looking back at the camera check my hair.
Yeah. Got rid of that quick.
Yeah, they kind of did what they did with the Z9 to release it. So they showed a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then they released a couple specs about it and not really much else, but they did release some really good specs about it.
Yes.
Now the focus, the stacked sensor.
Yeah.
Didn't they release that for the Z9 as well? I know we mentioned this in a podcast before, but I can't remember right now.
I think so.
That's kind of cool that the future of mirrorless is almost all these new ones are releasing a stacked sensor.
Yeah.
That'd be
so
cool.
The interesting thing with the stacked sensor is image quality doesn't really change.
Yeah.
Compared to a regular CMOS sensor.
Yeah.
To the stacked sensor. It's just the information gets to the sensor better.
Okay.
Or faster. So the prospects with a stacked sensor compared to a CMOS sensor.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because everything with the camera industry, and I feel it's been like this for everyone in the camera industry, that they come out with something new and what will they do next?
Yeah.
How the fuck are they making it this much better?
Yeah.
It's already been pretty good for a while. Maybe not Nikon. I'm just kidding. Was it you I was talking with? Or maybe I was talking to Mark about Nikon giving out a lot of partnerships.
Okay.
I'm really sad that I started shitting on them from the beginning. I'm sorry. I love you. I shit on Nikon, but I wouldn't... I was about to say I wouldn't change for the world, but I wouldn't go to Canon. Does that count? That's good enough.
I'm sure Nikon will appreciate that. Would you go to
Nikon
Sony?
or Sony? No.
No?
Nope. Okay. Don't ask me Fuji, though. After I borrowed the X Pro 3,
You're in love?
Yeah, I want an X100V even more right now.
But that, like, saying no to Canon and no to Sony, Nikon will look at you.
That's good enough.
Okay, now.
They'll be like, all right, she's
because if
mediocre.
you go to Fuji is not really their competition.
No, Fuji's so niche that like that I would own a Nikon and a Fuji. Like currently, I'm contemplating my setup. If I get an X100V, it is, no offense, Nikon, it is my fun camera. Only because Nikon is my fun camera too, but Nikon's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The X100V, I can go for a walk down the street and take pictures of like, this is going to sound really creepy, but like people's houses or like street photography stuff. That sounded weird saying people's houses. Like if someone has like a cool tree or something.
Yeah. Or a lawn ornament or something like that.
Yeah, I can take a picture of it without people being like, what the fuck is this like private investigator doing on my lawn with their fucking Nikon? No, like I want Nikon to make smaller lenses, but they're not, so that's why I'd get a Fuji.
Yeah.
And the film simulations are bitchin'.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, Sue, not wife Sue, but another Sue.
Oh, it was a friend of mine, Sue. I'm like, oh yeah, I know her.
Yeah. So she was out shooting. She shoots Olympus as well. Anyways, she got pictures of this bird. And it was like a stone bird, like a carving, right?
Oh, okay.
And she posted on Facebook, and I just had the comment, man, that bird looks stoned.
Jesus Christ.
So, now, talking about Olympus.
I was like, what the fuck are you about to say, Chuck? Talking about stoned.
So, I was having problems trying to figure out where my fucking lens was.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So...
Walking in Memphis.
Yes. I called, and they opened up a case number. They were going to look into it, and then I get a phone call a couple days later from the lady at FedEx, and she's like, so your package is in Memphis. That's our customs location. So it's a little bit backlogged. So we're just waiting for it to go through. And as soon as it comes out, I'll give you a call and let you know what's going on. So I'm like, awesome, thank you. So then 2 days later, I'm over at Petrie Island, and just for fun, I checked my phone because it hasn't moved from Memphis, and boom, it says it'll be delivered today. Not today, but the day that I was looking at my phone, right? Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god. So I text Sue, let her know, and then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, the lady from FedEx calls, and she's like, she's calling from BC. So that's why she called later than when I checked.
Oh.
Yeah. So she called like first thing.
Wow.
Her morning saying, it's coming today.
Yeah.
It's been released and it's already in Ottawa and you should be getting it at some point today.
That's good.
So this is...
There it is. Ah.
The Olympus 100 to 400. So I'm going to go out and play with this thing tomorrow.
So, point of clarification, you don't already have one of those?
No.
I was under the impression that you had one and that was Sue's.
No.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah. So I've got the 40 to 150 2.8 Pro.
Right. I think that's what I was
I have the 300
up.
f4. And now we've got this guy. And this guy is not the Pro. I don't know if they have... No, they don't have a 100 to 400. Well, they have the 150 to 400 Pro. But that's $10,000.
What is this? This feels nice.
Yeah.
It's cold. Oh god, that's actually really cold. You're like, oh great, I have Vanessa's greasy face on my lens now. Just kidding, it's not that greasy. It's just well moisturized. I started using SPF moisturizer on my face.
So yeah, I'm going to go out and shoot with this tomorrow.
That's exciting. I'm really excited to see what you get with it.
So
where are you going to go shoot with it?
Well, we can't really go far, right? So I think I'm just
because tomorrow's the start of
No,
parks.
It started already.
Oh, I thought it was immediate as of Monday. I heard it was Monday that they're like the parks and stuff are closing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it's
I'm just gonna go down to the end of my street. There's like all sorts of herons and stuff over there. So
you want me to like hide in the bushes and like
Pretend you're Aaron.
One leg up. That's a flamingo, isn't it? Or do herons have one leg up too?
Herons do that once in a while too. Yeah.
You could put me in like a feather costume. Like tights.
And then throw paint on you. Okay.
Yeah. Paint and feathers.
Tar and feathers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm gonna go out to the end of my street, so around close to Petrie Island.
You could shoot in people's windows with that.
Oh, probably, yeah.
There's your wildlife.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So, but I'm gonna do a video on it. I haven't done a video on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Like
yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah. So playing with my 100, 400.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I'd finish that sentence.
Playing with my crickets.
Yes.
No, I think that'll be good. You haven't posted a YouTube video in a little while.
No.
I'm almost famous.
Almost.
Almost. You hit 100.
Yeah, I'm at like 140 something.
140. Holy shit, man.
I think.
That went up quick.
Yeah. But like there's nothing going on. I'm tired of doing the playing with this lens and playing with this lens.
You've already played with all the lenses that we have in store.
And there's nothing really new. There's like new lenses coming out, but we're not getting them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out and do wildlife photos and videos and stuff like that. But I am gonna do a playing with this one, and yeah.
That'll be fun. I think you'll get a lot of traction on that because there are a lot of people out there that haven't seen videos with that or footage from that.
Yeah.
When you first said you were gonna do a video on it, I was like, that's gonna be a little hard. Hey guys, welcome. It's like up the nose with that lens on there. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm shooting this video with a 100 to 400. Or you set it up on a tripod and they can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Get a wireless lav mic. That's what we need.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Would it reach that far?
Yeah.
If you were at 400.
Yeah. Like it says it's got sight distance, so if you could see it.
You got to get a Ceramonic set and really take it to the test. You could start testing lavalier microphones.
Yeah, I could, but
that'd be funny.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, there were a couple lenses.
Oh, from Canon.
From Canon.
You're like bouncing.
I know. That's the problem with this chair. It probably doesn't look right. I don't know. I'm like that. Even when I talk, like when I'm not sitting in a stool or something, like when I eat, I dance.
Oh, really?
I move around a lot.
Okay.
It's probably the ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, they released they released news of a couple more lenses. What ones do we want to start with?
Well, there's the 100.
That's the coolest one.
Yeah.
That's the coolest one.
Was it 100 2.8 macro?
It's a 2.8. I think it's a 2.8 macro.
Yeah.
And you have what's the actual term for it? It's like AS.
Yeah.
Something spherical. No, isn't SA? Spherical aberration. I'm glad you all heard me clear my throat.
Yeah.
Such.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
I have my camera open. That was not a very appealing angle. My phone's dying. Before you say it's because it's a Google, it's just because I did not charge it when I went to bed.
Why not?
Because I left my charger in the living room and I'm too lazy to move it.
Justin, how come you only have one charger?
No, we have two. Justin has the same charger as me. So what I've been doing, because I'm a lazy piece of shit, is usually we've been on somewhat opposite sleeping schedules, so I'll keep my phone plugged in on his charger, and then I have one in the living room for when I like want to watch TV on my phone. Anyways, so I usually charge it, but we're actually on a normal sleeping schedule now, which is also why I got here like when we said between 8:30 and 8:45. Yesterday was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it by 8:45. I might be here at like 9:05, and I showed up at 8:35.
Yeah.
I woke up at 7:30 without a problem.
A.M.
No,
Wow.
it was fucking weird. It's also because I went to bed at like 9:45.
I went to bed later than you last night. Yeah.
It was a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
It is SA control. So the 100 is a 2.8. And the SA stands for Spherical aberration. I was right.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Which means?
It's basically your bokeh.
Yeah.
So you can control how the bokeh looks, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I really want to see that. Apparently, the Nikon 105 and 135 DC, I don't know if I've actually had my hands on one. You have the ability to control or like correct the spherical aberrations in the image.
Interesting.
Which I'm not sure if we've ever had that lens in there because I feel like I'd see that setting and play around with it.
Yeah.
So it's not the first of its... Well, it might be the first of its kind, but there's been some similar-ish ideas. But that's really cool. So you can change your bokeh, which if anybody's just joining us and doesn't know, your bokeh or your spherical aberration is when you have a really low aperture and like you're taking a picture of a bird, or let's say I'll use you because I don't take pictures of birds. Taking a picture of Chuck's face and it's at like 2.8 and I want his face to be nice, and it's weird. I'm talking in third person about you and I'm looking at you because I'm not looking at the screen. I'll look at the screen. So if I'm taking a picture of Chuck and I want his face to be nice and in focus and the background to fall out all blurry, that's a really shallow depth of field, and the blurry part is considered bokeh or spherical aberration, which you can kind of see it in people. You sometimes do like artistic photos of Christmas lights. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So you can kind of see it better when you're shooting like a light with bokeh.
Yeah.
So you can see the shape of the softness kind of. A lot of the time they show up as like little circles and stuff. So I'm not sure if this control ring on the new Canon is going to allow you to kind of change and shift the shape of it and like how
I'm
it
wondering
falls.
if it could be more oval shaped.
Or if there's going to be an option that just completely blurs it, which would be really nice for people who take pictures of like birds and stuff to kind of blur it into one more so instead of like more circles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
No? Okay.
No.
I'm going crazy. You know,
Yeah.
you know when you see a picture and the bokeh looks like circles, so there's a tree behind the bird or something.
Yeah.
And this is so difficult because I don't look at bokeh in such detail. To have it
so
just
I don't
be
know why
like,
we're having a big conversation about
cut
it.
Cut this then.
Fuck
Fuck it. Cut it.
Well, they've got a couple other lenses that they're coming out with too, and this is the 300, or is it 400 and a 500?
Before we jump into that, I just wanted to quickly mention that the estimated price, I think this is US, is like $1,400 for the macro.
Well, that's not that bad.
That's not
for
that
an RF
bad,
lens.
but I think that's US, but still.
Yeah.
Not too bad for that kind of lens. The telephoto ones.
Yeah.
What's the deal with those?
Is it a 300 and a 400 or a 400 and a 500?
I thought it was a 400 and a 600.
Okay. I can't remember. Anyways, so remember last time we were talking about a bunch of lenses that they're discontinuing?
400 and 600.
400 and 600? Okay. So they're discontinuing a bunch of EF lenses, but they were the Mark IIs. There are Mark IIIs out.
Yeah, so there are still some out there.
Yeah. So basically the 400 and the 600, they are EF lenses, and they've just switched them out. Put an RF mount.
Are they the same, like, basically build?
They're the same lens.
Oh.
They just changed them out. It would have been nice if they developed new lenses, but I guess considering they're not very old.
And they're also not very cheap lenses.
No.
The 400 is a 2.8. It's considered an L. But that one's and this is US still, I think. $1,200 for the 400 2.8, which is 12,000, not 1,200.
If it was 1,200, I'd be like, I'm switching back to Canon.
3 zeros, not 2. Sorry. Yeah, 12,000. That's for a 400 2.8. The 600 f4 is 13,000. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like the 300 2.8 that I test drove. It was an IS lens, so image stabilized 300 2.8.
How much was that?
$15,000 new.
That's atrocious.
Yeah. So
That's
the used
ridiculous.
one I think was
my God.
$8,000 or $9,000. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But you slap a 2x telly on that, right? And you got a 600 5.6 IS, which is beautiful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, in other recent news...
In other camera news...
I put my 2 weeks in.
Yes.
I'm leaving the store that we work at. Just for a change of pace.
Yeah.
And change of pay. I'm just going to a different retail store.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disclose where. It's just a chill retail place. But yeah, it's time. So we're still doing the podcast, obviously. I am emotionally and financially invested in this.
Yep. Especially with these chairs.
Fucking love these chairs.
It's cutting into my leg.
Is it?
It's like, oh man.
All right. In other news, we'll have new chairs next week.
Yeah.
Maybe if I find some. I like these, but
yeah. Even if we just got one.
Yeah, because I'm fine with keeping this one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I'm leaving the store, the camera store.
Yeah, I am not happy about that, but anyways.
I'm really bummed to be leaving you and like Caitlin. Caitlin's not even there a lot these days. Sorry, Caitlin. And I texted Steve. I told you what Steve said.
Yeah.
He's like, why? I don't even want to come back now. I'm like, okay. I'm sad to be leaving a lot of the people that I work with, but I still get to keep in contact with you. So
yes. Yeah.
It's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
But...
Well, anyways. We all have our crosses to bear.
Yep. So I'll still be around, and I'm not going to lose majority of my camera knowledge because my newsfeed is still completely camera shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, I might have more time to get out and shoot.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be very nice, because I'm going down to 4 days a week.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what day and...
Yeah, I'll have 3 days off a week, so I'll have time to film, shoot, do whatever.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
We could go out shooting together.
Yeah.
There we go.
That'd be fun. So that's it.
So that's it for episode 22.
22.
Of F That.
Photo chat.
Toodaloo.
Motherfucker.